it's not just, a culture or fun. These are the connections that you're going to reconnect with when you come into the real world, because you find in instances like now, you find if I'm looking for an advocate, oh, I know a guy I went to school with.
013 Golden Circle, another day, another dollar. Siboyile futhi with another exciting episode. Uyabona, like I always say ukuthi ukuba yimi sometimes kumnandi kuphinde kuyathusa. You understand? So as we can see from the background here to namhlanje, we are not in the place where we are usually at. Namhlanje we are sitting with a very inspirational somebody from La Emalahleni, even though she looks serious, but yeah, you'll get to see her. Naso-ke lesmile bengisifuna sesiphumile. I'm sitting with Ursula Ntuli, a legal expert, founder of Ursula Ntuli Attorneys, khona la Emalahleni. Yeah, kuyathiwa nana here, she's a distinguished LLB. She has a distinguished LLB somebody. Yeah. Maye uphethe kushuthi kahle kahle azina. Angifuni ukukhuluma kakhulu ngoba ngizothi mangisuka la namhlanje, I know the English that I'll be speaking kuzobe kuyilabo English le yabo yes my lord. Yes my lord, as they normally do court. Ursula, kunjani? No, I'm good. Thank you very much for allowing us the opportunity to come and invade your space. Ukuthi sithizene ethi masithi mzali, sicela ukukhulumisana nawe ngoba siyabona ukuthi you are doing a very stellar job la Emalahleni. So thank you very much.
No, it's a pleasure.
Yes, yabona, from what you've sent me and the bit of what I read from your profile, I can say now I know you. Yabona, but yeah, for ababukeli bethu emakhaya, they don't know you. Kindly tell them ukuthi who is Ursula Ntuli. Ursula ubuyaphi, ukhulelephi, uzalelwephi, yonke lento uyabona bathini ndibala ntoni na.
Where do I start?
You start from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Yes.
My name is Ursula Ntuli. I'm the founder and the director of Ursula Ntuli Attorneys, based here at Emalahleni. Emalahleni, I was born in Nelspruit, but I grew up here in Witbank, did primary, high school. Then went to the University of Pretoria, where I got my LLB degree. And then I came back to Witbank, served my articles at Ngomana Attorneys. And then after that, opened my own practice, which is, this one.
So, Ursula Ntuli, I want now you to take us through to childhood yakho. Ukuthi Ursula beka umntwana lonjani, ekhaya ningakhi. Yabona leyo setup ukuthi manje size sifike kule nto lena ukuthi what actually inspired you kuzo zonke izinto ezikhona la emhlabeni wena, and you decide ukuthi no, let me take up law.
Law.
Yeah.
Okay, so I grew up as Nambeni with my parents and my little brother, 2 little brothers actually. So I've got my brother Brian, who's 1 year younger than me. Then we have Susiso, the last born, who's currently doing matric. So I grew up normal childhood as Nambeni, playing in the streets. It was pretty basic and pretty normal. My dad was a teacher in Pukuweni, so ngikhule ngumntana kaMenyer. But I've always had, I think from growing up until now, I've always had an interest for justice in particular. I've always been a person that's hated injustice. And I think that's one of the reasons why I gravitated towards law, because I was a person who just hated seeing people mistreated, maltreated in any form or any way. So I hated any form of injustice, whether it came from a family, the neighborhood, the background, it didn't matter. But growing up as a child, I was not really an academic, funny enough. I was a child who excelled in sports. That's what I was good at.
Okay.
If anything, I did terribly at school. Terribly. I was that kid, if I got 50 million slaving kom.
Shoot the Spanish.
The only time the only time, to be honest, that I really got good marks when I was in high school, and then now obviously the reality came in of, I think when I was doing grade 11, then I started to look at my requirements for university, and I saw you see, with these marks,
You need to pull up your socks.
Nangi birthday Mandela is no way I'm going in. And that's actually, I think that was the turning point where I actually then took my academics in seriously. But prior to that, I was a child who did athletics. I've broken quite a few records with 100 meter, 200 meter hurdles. I was a child who did hockey. I was, Mpumalanga team. I was a child who played first team hockey. I was just that girl who excelled in sports. And I think my parents probably thought that I would, maybe follow into that alley where I become a sportsman, or I play sports professionally after high school, because those were the offers. I mean, remember, even when we were in primary, going into high school, we already had schools offering, hey, come study with us, come be with us. And same thing when we went to university, but it was just for sports. It was never in regards to my academics, because my academics only became in existence from grade 11 in matric. When it was needed. But before that, no, I was a 40%, 3.3 just to pass type of child. But never good in academics, only became an academic person when it was required of me. I think then that's where the beauty of me comes in. I'm able to evolve when the need is. Depending on what the situation entails or requires of me, I'm able to give it the best of me. So growing up at the time, what was required from me was sports, because that's what I loved and I excelled in it. And then when I decided to change and then consider the issue of, I can't be a lawyer without the academics, unfortunately. Why not? Why not?
Yes, we are mentioning ukuthi esikolweni, but can you mention the school mhlambe, just to say, sani, kudos to that
Kudos.
school?
Oh, I went to Robert Carruthers. What an amazing primary school. Did amazing there as well, sitting on the Wall of Fame. And then I went to Warskool Patriot, also did amazing there, sitting on the, Wall of Fame there as well. And then obviously I went to the University of Pretoria when it was time to study LLB. Then I think from matric, that's when I abandoned sports so that I could just focus on academics, because sports is actually quite taxing, especially when you're at a point where we are, where it was competitive and there's records to be set. So it was very competitive. You would train harder and longer than everybody else. So I think when the time then came with that shift, I then had to, abandon the sports and then just purely focus on academics, which was, I think, a bit of a tricky transition, because if you're not used to studying or reading, it's such a crazy transition. But nonetheless,
I
we
actually
managed.
wanted to ask, how was the transition? Because manje, you were not focused academically. How was the transition?
The transition was hectic, but I think also with me is I've always had honest conversations with myself. For example, my dad was a maths teacher. He's had students that get 100% matric final exam for maths. So he always had an expectation that I would also then do maths and be good. But I had honest conversations with myself, like, I only know how to count money. So I had honest conversations with myself from a very early on age. Even when people say, no, do maths, we'll help you do science, do accounting. I was like, nah. I've always been a person that's able to stand up for themselves. So I said, no.
So are the requirements for you to get into law school, what were they?
So the requirements was basically, I think what was important there or critical there was your APS score. Law at the time when I was going to study, they didn't have subjects requirements. And I think that's a lot of things that people don't look into. I think from the age of grade 9, when you're choosing your subjects, you actually need to go to the university website to see, okay, if I want to be a lawyer, do I really need to study maths even if I'm not good at it? And only to find, no, I didn't. And then I looked at this, do I need to be doing accounting? Then I found I know I don't. Then I'm like,
You just need to have good marks.
you just need to have a good average and good marks in everything. Because remember, I think with the syllabus of law itself, in as much as you also get taught the accounting part of it as well, it's something that they introduce to you and they teach you as well. So then from the onset, I already knew those subjects were not required from me. So I did not bother myself with things ezingangifuni. So when everybody was in this hype of doing these hectic subjects, because I believe everybody's got their own abilities. There's some people who are just genuinely gifted. They do maths and they do physics with ease. And later on, they get to do careers that involve those things. But for me, those things did not come with ease. And also, I was also honest with myself in the sense that I knew that I was going to go into a transition. So I was not going to go into a transition where now, come now grade 9, when I'm choosing the subjects, already I'm aware that I have to transition later on. So in that, I already knew that, okay, I need to choose subjects that are going to speak to me, number one, that I'm going to be able to do, number two, and that I'm going to be able to excel in. So I wasn't necessarily concerned with, because remember, I think we get a lot of pressure in high school. You get taught if you're not doing maths, science, physics, you're not going to become anything in life. You're not going to amount to much. But nobody actually then takes the standard to see are those things really required for each and every individual child. Yeah. And I think that's something, you as the parents and the children need to critically look at those things. Are these things really required? Or, are these things not relevant to the child?
This nowadays, as a student, you must do your own research.
You really should. I feel like we're so privileged. We live in an area where information is in the palm of your hands. Yeah. You can Google everything. I always say, if you can Google the latest on Kim Kardashian, surely you can Google the latest about your career and yourself and where you're going. If you can find out gossip about celebrities, surely you can find out gossip about your own space.
I was told, because there was a point in time in my life where I wanted to say, nami ngifuna ukwenza law. Then I was told, hambo yenza history, ne-geography. Yeah. Engazenza lezi zinto lezo, okay. Why ngizenzile lezi zinto lezo? Hayi nami maths bengiqepha. Hayi bengiqepha. But then
didn't see you.
No. But when I changed the stream, I excelled with history. I didn't like geography that much because there were calculations as well. You understand? But now, the advice that you will give to the current students who are currently studying and they are not sure as to what is it that they want to do in future after their high school, what would be your advice?
I would say the fact that you have access to the internet, one, Google the types of careers that you want to involve yourself in, and actually see what they get to do. A lot of companies, people don't know this. If you approach a company and you're asked to come shadow during school holidays, except for mine, mine also comes with induction and things like that. Those companies will usually let you come in. They allow a lot of students who all you're asking is just to come in to shadow and to see what the space really entails in real life. I feel like you owe it to yourself to do that, because nobody's going to come in with a silver platter to say, come shadow, here are the requirements, here's this. You need to take matters into your own hands. I'm a firm believer of taking things into your own hands. I don't believe that people should be spoon-fed in any form or in any way. I feel like people should go out there and get things themselves.
Are you open for that option of being shadowed?
We actually get shadowed a lot.
Is it?
Yeah, during school holidays, we have people that DM us, inbox us, and ask, hey, can I come shadow during school holidays? And most of the time we say, okay, sure, pull through. Especially if you're coming in and you're saying, I want to be in the law space, I'm not sure, or I'm already studying law, but nonetheless, I still want to be in the vicinity. We allow people to come in.
Can you explain this shadowing thing further? Because maybe maybe if I can say ngiyaba DM lapha ka-Ursula Ntuli, they will want a certain fee. Is there a certain fee that they have to pay for them to shadow you maybe?
No, they don't pay a fee. I mean, I think the last couple of interns that came in, if anything, we gave them a stipend for transport.
Hey, lezwa, if vice versa, cabanga, vice versa. Mina, I'm asking ukuthi, are they going to charge you? But no, bona they are giving you a stipend.
No, yeah, if you are coming in, and obviously, you know, you come in and then at the end when you're done, we do give you a stipend to say, hey, here's the money used for the petrol.
But then nakhona ngiyacabanga mhlambe leso stipend asimane siphume, you check the person, the seriousness of the
No,
person.
obviously you check and the fact that's why we give it to you at the end, because remember, you're coming in to say, can I come shadow, which means I'm coming in for free to shadow. Then during the course of your shadowing, if we see that you're interested, you're proactive, and there's a seriousness of element to it, when you say goodbye on your last day, I would usually say, hey, A and B, they did pretty well. How did they interact with you guys? If the team is happy, then I'm like, okay, give them something to say thank you. Even though they were coming to us to seek for something, we also then say thank you back.
There's a lot of opportunities out there. It's just that good manje, abantu, they are not even aware of them. Because like mina, la ngihleli khona manje, if it's what I knew, ngabe dala ngakushela uwisha. Ngathi ngicela ukuzoshela uwisha la. Yabona? But yeah, manje ngifuna sithathe manje ijeni yakho now. Let's go to the university now. First day of university. Good manje nangu umntana kaMiniri. Umntana kaMiniri sekaselo kanje manje usePretoria.
University, my goodness, what an amazing time. Good times. University. University was amazing. You know what I always say, if you're going to university, do yourself and your child a favor. Try ensure that the first day they go to raise, the culture and the family that you build there are, it's not just, a culture or fun. These are the connections that you're going to reconnect with when you come into the real world, because you find in instances like now, you find if I'm looking for an advocate, I know a guy I went to school with. If you get into a certain department, I went to school with this person is now heading up that department. So it not only becomes a community and a culture, but it also becomes your connections for tomorrow. Because university is not just you coming in to get the degree. University, I always say, is your biggest networking platform, because you get there and you have access to each and every student in each and every field that you can build connections with that are going to align with you once you leave that place. Because at the end of the day, once you leave university, those people that you graduate with or you graduated around the same time with, they go into the workplace. So which means these people can come back, be your connects. And I think a lot of clientele and connects are people that we actually went to varsity with, even though we were not in the same class or doing in the same course. But it's people where if you have a small problem in engineering, I don't have to think hard. I can call a guy I went to varsity with and be like, hey, in the so in and they're like, oh no, igaso. And then now I want to start a project like this. No, actually, I'm working for an engineering company, I've got my own, or I can refer, but it's just quick. Everything is at the palm of your hands. So you're not just there to go to school, you're there to also network and build connections for yourself. So I think your presentation in varsity is also quite important, how you interact with people. But university was great. I think obviously like any other Black child, I had my own challenges in terms of the integration of it, because university is crazy. It's like a jungle. I mean, you get in on the first day of class, you've got literally, you're in like 100, close to 200 people in one class. And you must be able to, in the midst of 200 people, understand exactly what your lecturer is saying. It's such a competitive space. The space there is extremely competitive. Because remember, out of those 200 people that you're in class with, others are going to drop out, others will commit suicide, others will die. others for whatever reason, but the battle is so real. I genuinely feel like once you conquer the battle of university, there's only so much that can bring you down, because that battle, and the dynamics are crazy. I mean, you're coming in from, Witbank, small town, is Nambini. Pretoria is huge. Yeah. Pretoria is big. You're coming into class, you're there, you're excited, you're happy, to be there. You're in students, you're going to class. And I think people overlook such things. You're going to class with people who already have their first cars, their first houses, apartments that they're gifted to. They're already coming in headstrong, confidence built. When your confidence is still,
you're like good Jim comes to Josie.
Your Jimmy comes to Josie. There's so many factors. That's why I always say, especially when you come from a really underprivileged background and you're going into university, NIFSIS alone isn't enough. Fine, they give you the financial support as and when, because now, it's got its own challenges. But there's also the emotional part of you fitting into that space, because there's a culture, and the culture and the lifestyle of a first year student is going out, partying, dressing up, the initiation, and those things all require money. And when you don't have the money to participate in those things, in as much as you can be steadfast and focused, those things do somehow come back to hit you. And depending on how strong you are emotionally, those things can break you. Other people break, other people remain focused on the fact that, okay, I know I don't have the clothes, I'm wearing the same jean Monday to Friday or Monday to Thursday, but I'm here to study. And obviously you have to, there's a lot of mental readiness and a lot of mental battles that I think you have to go through with yourself as a person to say, I belong in this institution. Because obviously there's always an inferiority that these people are better than me, but you have to now, put yourself in a position where you're like, no, I deserve to be here. I belong here. I've got every right to be here. And I'm going to achieve everything that I've set out to do.
Throughout all these dynamics that you are mentioning now, what was your motivation? Because surely there must have been a time whereby you were like, am I in the right place here?
I think with one thing about me is a I don't know, like a winner's attitude. Because sometimes I think you have to be delulu. Okay. Sometimes you really have to be delulu to say, because I mean, first year was so hectic that I think I failed half the semester. Like, basically when I was going to second year, I have so many modules to carry from the first year that
it was almost a matter of adaptation to the new environment.
It's adaptation, one. It's the workload. The workload is quite crazy. It's nothing like you've ever seen before, and the pace is hectic. And I think one thing that I realized is that I did not know how to study. I thought I knew how to study, but when I got to university, I realized I did not know how to study. And those things, obviously, they make you panic. They make you, because I think when you're coming in and then you've got, let's say, for example, 10 modules and you fail 6, I mean, whether you like it or not, that demotivates you, and that puts you in a position where you have to ask, am I really intelligent? Am I really supposed to be here? Or am I in the wrong place? So I think more than anything, it was me continuously giving myself counsel to say, hey, Silana, and going back is not an option either.
As you've mentioned, you're a person who likes to have conversations with self.
Yeah, no, I always have conversation with selves. I think that's the one thing that has put, I have so many conversations with self, and I'm very kind to self. Even when I see with Lana, I fucked up to the max. I forgive myself. I say, you know what? And I even explain to myself, I'm like, no, you went through this because of this. Okay, but now how do we conquer? How do we come back? How do we learn? You have to give yourself grace, and you have to give yourself another fighting chance. Because with me, I mean, there was a time when I was even not admitted to go back to university, because it was like, hey, your time for your degree has shired and you've not finished your degree. And, going through that system where you have to go back and appeal and explain why you must go back to university is no joke, because like
So lento ifundayo so uyenza ku-practice manje uyaphila. Ungakaqedi so uyaqalile uyaphila.
so now you have to appeal for yourself to say, hey, I need to go back. And you have to explain to a committee of people, why are you not passing, why are you struggling, and obviously a lot of people, I think, during that phase they fall out as well. But then I also had to decide, there is no ways. I mean, I already have 70% of the degree. Am I really going to tap out? No, that's crazy. By fire, by force, come rain, come sunshine, I'm going to get it. And I was determined. I remember saying, if you guys can't allow me to finish here, allow me to finish somewhere else. But abandoning it is not an option. It's not even something I'm willing to look into. And studying another degree is also not an option. Because I even said, if you go back and look at my application, I only had law, become law.
Which year were you in?
Oh, do I remember the time frames? I can't remember.
First year, second year, third year?
Oh no, this was after, I think. So you have 4 years to finish your degree, right? So they give you a grace of 2 years. So I was in my 7th year.
No.
I was in my 7th year. They were like, like, what's this? No. So I had to fight to say, no. Grace, but you guys have to allow me to finish.
So yonke lento leyo, was it done verbally or written?
Written. Okay. Yeah, so you do written submissions to explain.
There's no way you're gonna do practical.
No.
With regards to appealing, of course.
No, if they call you in, I'm sure you would be able to do so, but you yourself, and also remember, handing in the appeal is not enough. You must also be the one that follows it up.
I'm sure in the appeal that you've written, there was a lot of legal jargon written there.
Not really.
Just to show them, look,
I'm capable.
Yeah.
No, I think, no, not really. To be honest, I think it was me explaining that, look, this territory for me was foreign. And I started off on the wrong foot. There was no ways I was going to catch up, having failed half of first year. And if I struggled in first year and I only passed half my modules and now I'm in second year, there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to cope with the load of second year and first year modules. It's not possible.
Now tell me, were they marking you only on academics, or they were also concentrating on the social aspect of things as a student? How do you behave?
Well, obviously, I mean, if you've never been with a disciplinary hearing, that's great. But, if you've come across that, because they take into account, I think, all of that as well. So I've never been a person who's involved themselves in anything like that. So, yeah. And I think from the social parts, I mean, I did my participations in terms of the programs that I was part of. But it was, more than anything, it's the plea to finish.
Yeah, because the reason why I'm asking is I wanted now to touch base on the social aspect of university life. Like I asked earlier on, the only concentration, is it on academics or the social aspect of it? Now, does it play a role with regards to you obtaining whatever degree or qualification that you are after?
Well, the social part of it, I think, is important because as a person, you can't just work. You must be able to live and coexist within society and within people. So I think that's something that you have to teach yourself, but also the university itself has a lot of social programs, a lot of social activities that was supposed to not really forced to, but, encouraged
how
to
were you social?
participate. Oh, it was amazing.
Okay.
Socially, I did amazing. I'm a very social person, so socially, I did amazing. Yes, no, socially, I don't think I had any challenges. I was socializing, I was mingling, I was doing socially, no, so it was fine.
And then here we are today, we are sitting. Obviously, it means the appeal went well. You were given another mercy to say, Ashla, finish up. And I want to now move to life after university.
Life after university was not hectic. I started my articles. I actually started my articles at Harvey Norkia. I was there for a year. And then I moved over to Ngomana Attorneys. And I think that's where, you know, I got a bit of confidence because there I actually got to work on files. I actually got to go to court. I actually got to have consultation with clients. I was exposed to the real world in terms of law. So I think that laid such a beautiful foundation for me because I think without a good foundation, you're not going to have the confidence to step out. So then immediately when I was busy doing my articles, so I've always known that I would always have my own firm. It's one of the things that I've written down as a child from primary, high school, varsity. I've always written down. I mean, my law firm was named years ago.
Before.
Yeah, I think the plan and how I wanted it to look like is something that was captured before I even went to university. So, that's one of the reasons why I could not abandon the degree because there was already a law firm that I had formed in my mind. So, abandoning it was not just abandoning the degree, but it was also abandoning the law firm and the dream. So, there were so many aspects into it that you can't just leave. So when I was doing my final year of articles, I was already drafting logos. I was looking for a person to do a logo. I was buying stationery. I was mentally, emotionally, physically, and in every other way preparing myself. When the time comes, I'm going to finish and then start my own. So usually, any person will tell you after you finish your degree, your articles, you would work for 2, 3, 4 years as a professional assistant before venturing into opening your own practice. I mean, it's very rare for you to say, yeah, I'm jumping. So I got admitted, and then after I got admitted, I said, I'm ready to.
For those maybe in layman's terms, what do you mean when you're talking about like writing your articles and stuff? Because mina ngidunyela upotiana la ngihleli khona.
So articles is when you're done with university, you serve articles for 2 years, right? And after the 2 years, you write, or during that 2-year program, you write 4 board exams. So usually the board exams is you'd write one in the morning, then you'd have a 2-hour break, write another one in the evening, then the next day in the morning you'd write one in the morning, have a 2-hour break, write the next one. So board exams are quite hectic, So once you pass your board exams, you then do an ex parte application to the High Court. Ex parte. Yeah, an application that you do alone. There is no respondents.
Okay. Usha penalty uzivimbele.
Yeah, so then you do an application when uyiwani to the High Court to say, hey, look, I've done my articles, I've done this, I've done that. I don't have a criminal record because that's something they take into account because you can't get admitted as an attorney because the test, remember, is a fit and proper person. So if you're not a fit and proper person, then, you're not going to get admitted as an attorney. Then you get interviewed by an attorney in your jurisdiction. And then after that, your documents are submitted, your application is moved. And if everything goes well, you get admitted as an attorney. And then after that, you can be employed as a professional assistant. So I skipped employment stage. That's why I always say I've never been employed.
Yeah. When you only did your articles.
Now I did my articles and then I employed myself after.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite an achievement and a motivation to those maybe who are still studying law. Ngiyamuva Ashla, isitori sakho siyangichaza sengiyasithanda futhi wena self-employed after writing your own articles. I'm seeing a lot of credentials. You are a person who is very igama lakho liyamemeza la Witbank. Ilibanga umsindo the minute uthi Ursula Ntuli, because one can even see your picture mawuphuma nje elokishini ihlala isibhekile nje ibheki mawuphuma ibhekile ka I even showed you
Yeah.
let mina nangu Ashla Zulu siyakile like for you to be a philanthropist, I can say you are a philanthropist because you work most nabantu elokishini who are less privileged and stuff. Yabo? So motivation for you to do all of these things, ibuyaphi?
I think it just goes back to hating the concepts of injustice. Yeah, so it's just one of those things. I think it's something that is fundamentally in me. So it's not something that I have to search hard or look for inspiration to do. It's something that is inside of me. The nature to help, the nature to lend an extending hand is in me. So it's not something that I have to search far for. Yeah, so that's definitely us. That's definitely me.
And you organized the Malahleni Career Expo.
Yeah, so we did that in partnership with the youth manager and Emelahleni municipality. So we partnered up and we did the Career Expo. And I think one of the reasons when we're doing it is we were trying to also find gaps to say how can we better improve this concept, because we didn't want to have a situation where we're just having a career expo but it's not speaking to the learner. Because one of the conversations we've always had with Hazi, a person that's in matric, they've already sort of chosen their career or they should have applied in university. So maybe we need to target an audience that is younger who is yet to choose their subject so that they can have an opportunity to meet with the professionals. Because when we're doing the career expo, we encourage the learners more figure eklinko babuze ukuthi bafuna mapha ama subjects, bafuna ini nani, and what are the careers that you can explore inside. Because Glencoe obviously won't just be limited to be the mining part. There's other parts of it as well. So we say find out from them what other role can you play besides the role that you know. So I think that's one of the reasons why we were for that, because we're just like, no, get to ask the professional the relevant questions. If you can get a chance, ask to shadow, but put yourself out there, market yourself as well. Nabo, if you bring an impression, Nabo, they'll call you out. But get an opportunity to market yourself and to find out exactly what you need to know about the field that you want to go into and how to best navigate it. So yeah, the principle of that was basically just to give a child an opportunity to ask the questions that they would have never had the opportunity to ask in the first place.
Is it still there at the Career Expo?
Yeah, the municipality does it every year. Okay. Yeah, so every year we're there at the Career Expo. Every single year without fail, we're there with pamphlets, flyers, gifts for the children. We're there because the initiative is an amazing initiative. And I think one of the conversations the youth manager had said is like, he wanted to extend these things to say, hey, maybe we should also have a seminar, teach these kids how to draft a CV and things that will actually make them marketable. And I was like, actually, that's a good idea. Let's, set it up and let's see how far we can go. But it's those things that, anything that helps the community, because something like a CV, I mean, we had a post recently where we were looking for a candidate attorney. Some of the CVs, some of the people, even if they were capable, I would not know because the CV was bad. The CV was just, it was bad, it was badly drafted, it was lengthy, it was just, oh, okay, next.
Is there a universal way of drafting a CV?
I think, what I always say to people, Nawuti, every institution is unique. And you need to adjust yourself to that institution. So when you are coming to, for example, say I want to work at Ursula Ntuli Attorneys, you cannot come work for us if you don't know anything about us. You're not on our social media, you've never seen the website, you know nothing about us. What are you going to offer me? Do you know what the team looks like? The behavior and the vibe and the element, because there's a behavior as well of the office and there's a vibe that the
The behavior and the vibe, you can actually feel it the minute you enter.
and that's one of the reasons why we've had challenges when bringing in people. I've always said I wanted people that will connect with each other because I don't want work to be boring, heavy, and siyahlebana la office-ini, asinazindaba. Angithetha amaqala akuzwe bathi this one said, this one did. No, we don't have any of that. And whenever somebody comes in and that energy comes in, I immediately say, okay, you need to leave because thina usithole si-happy. Shukuthi siyakuhlula. Yeah, shukuthi siyakuhlula. The minute you come in and you don't get in with the employees, you're not, no matter how great you are, even if you are Jesus' cousin, it's not going to work.
Talk about the office. Since I've been here now several times, are there any male employees in this house?
No. We used to have, and then we got rid of them. They were not fitting our vibe. Okay. No, we used to have. And I think for now, honestly, I think every time we've had a male employee, it never, it wasn't fitting our vibe or steez because like I said, we've already built a family amongst ourselves. We all get along. So I don't want anything that does not gel with the system. We already have a system that is working for all of us. So if you're coming in and we don't get along, why are you here? You're not going to come make us uncomfortable.
But I wish I can come in.
Don't come in with fresh flavor. No. No, we already have an energy that is set. And the thing is, the energy that is set here is everyone knows they come here to do their job.
I mean, one can actually see from your social media pictures and everything, all the postings and stuff. One can actually see Uguti, your establishment is very professional, and one needs actually very to align with what is already happening.
True.
Yeah.
And also, besides us, I think also you look at the dynamics. I mean, the girls at the office are young. They're young, they are law graduates, others are studying law, and they are young and vibey.
If I don't tell you something,
Yeah.
now we started talking when last year, ne?
Yeah, last year.
I was actually doing my research before ngizohlala nawe ngixoxe. Yeah. So, yeah, because I take what I'm doing very serious. But I don't just want to come in ngimane ngikhulume ezinye izinto ezishona there. With that said, let's talk 40 under 40.
Yeah.
Take us through to 40 under 40 because I see you are an internationally acclaimed award winner.
So there is 40 under 40 South Africa, and there's 40 under 40 Africa, and there's 40 under 40 global. So last year we were nominated for 40 under 40 South Africa. So it's an organization that basically seeks to honor leaders under the age of 40 who have surpassed what their age mates are doing. So it covers aviation, engineering, entrepreneurs, accountants, architects. It covers every space in terms of services that you can run, anything that you can think of, it covers. So basically, it just seeks to recognize those individuals, obviously under the age of 40.
So if 40 under 40 say jump sale.
They
normally say a lady doesn't reveal that.
Under 40.
Yeah.
So this is under.
I 40 under 40 say jump sale.
Look, you could be 12 and be there.
Yeah.
You could be 12 and be there because the requirements is you just need to be under the age of 40 and you need to have done what your peers have not done in your age and in your space. So we got an award there for leadership. And then we recently got nominated for 40 under 40 Africa. So the awards are happening in Ghana. Yeah. So the whole of Africa is going to be gathered in Ghana celebrating leaders under the age of 40 who are doing amazing things. So we've got a few people from South Africa that are going that have been nominated myself included. I think there's two of us from South Africa who've been nominated under law. And then I know the other guys, I think from Nigeria, Angola, because I mean, it's looking at Africa as a whole. But I think the platform is an amazing platform because it shows you how much people are doing. Because I was looking at the CVs of the people that are 40 under 40 in Africa, and I was like, wow, people are doing amazing things. You know, you could sit here and be like, oh, I'm doing great. But when you expose yourself, you're like, hey, people are, wow, is that what you guys are doing? So it also, I think, sharpens your mind as well to say, hey, the sky is really the limits. There's so much you can do. So I think those awards have been a game changer, literally a game changer in terms of exposure and what other people are doing, how they're conducting their businesses, because obviously, you know, they put us in a group together, so we're able to interact as 40 under 40 South Africa to see what people are doing and how they're marketing themselves. And, you know, it's just a networking more than anything, because there's another opportunity to network and to do business and to expose your business to other people as well. So yeah, 40 under 40, thumbs up. It's an amazing initiative. Yeah, supported by the presidency. So it's an amazing initiative.
So you're looking forward to going to Ghana?
Yeah, I suppose. I think with the Ghana Awards, I'm just looking forward to networking more than anything, because I think that's all I'm interested in for now, is just the networking and building connections outside of South Africa. I think if ever I wanted to venture into Africa, that's the correct platform.
Yeah. Now, there's a question that I want to ask you. Ursula Ntuli, are you an attorney or an advocate?
I am an attorney.
Or you are an attorney? There was a time ngangumamele ukhuluma was it ngezemishado na? Esontweni la Bishop Dunono Msibi. Yes. Yeah. So kahle ngifuna ukukubuza ngale ndaba lama application wamalobolo lawo siwathola la Shoprite. Ukuthi how legit are they?
They're very legit. Very, very legit.
No, Shoprite.
No,
I looked at it one time, I was like,
Well, look, as long as the intention, because I think one of the important things that you need to look at is the intention. Is there an intention to to get married? Because remember, you don't go pay lobola to say you are my fiance. Ilobola si patalelu to be ungodus. When you're paying lobola, your intention is already clear. That's why we're not even concerned about the amount or the value that you pay in. So even if you pay in 3,000, nobody cares. As long as ufikile, wayikhipha, qeda lapho sayenza umqimbi sathi lililili shado lento.
Wafakwa lokho.
Hayi noma ningafakanga lokho. Nedi nje safika wakhipha imali sathi lililili saqula kwabamnandi la ngaphandle. Oh, you are married.
Ilo kanje kunanto engizondayo la emhlabeni isikhathi. And I'm enjoying this conversation. Understand? There's a lot of things that I want to ask you. But now, as Khuluma a Showmax, your involvement with Showmax?
We were featured on Tracking Tabo Besta. Yes. I think it was just the explanation of the customary marriage. Actually, the Showmax show, yes, I can't even remember like much about it. I think it how many?
If it did not play
yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it's 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's 2 years ago. But yeah, I think the involvement was just explaining the, what do you call this thing? The requirements for valid customary marriage. Yeah, I can't remember why there was in that docu-series, or maybe
it's fine. You see,
yeah.
For those that manje abangazi, they can always go to Showmax and check it, Tracking Tabo Besta. Yeah. And also, you are a radio presenter. You've got a show.
Yeah, we've got a show called The Legal Ventilator. So we just ventilate legal issues that people deal with or have, and then we just ventilate them on air. So yeah, it's on Emalahleni FM.
So Nemalahleni FM. And leso sikhathi leso you are also sitting as the chairperson of the board in Nemalahleni FM.
Yes, I'm also
Uyasebenza girl.
sitting.
Uyasebenza girl.
Yes, yes, that is true.
You're working girl. Uyasebenza.
No, you know what they say, the more things you do, the more time you have.
In closing, ngizokubuza, I don't know whether mhlawumbe uzokhona ukungiphendula ngale. Madlanga Commission, do you think ukudlalwa ngathi as South Africa or lento eyenzeka lapha, is it very serious or siyakhohliswa nje?
To be honest, I don't even follow the Madlanga Commission. I watch it in drips and drabs. Mina, I live in my own bubble. My bubble is Ursula Ntuli attorneys and where we are going next.
Where we are going next? Next we are going to Ghana.
Yeah, I'm just saying, as a company, as a business growth.
We must make a plan, Prawam, ukuthi makaye Ghana. Sizama ukuzifihla emabhekini. I don't know how we're going to fit emabhekini. You know, so that sikhona ukumcapture. But yeah, kuma social media, what are your handles? Abantu bakuthola kuphi? Yeah, socials nje. Utholakala kuphi?
Okay, so you can find us on Instagram at Ursula Ntuli Attorneys, Facebook at Ursula Ntuli Attorneys, LinkedIn, Ursula Ntuli Attorneys. Am I forgetting others? TikTok at Ursula Ntuli Attorneys as well. Yeah, so those are our social media handles. And then, of course, if you just Google Ursula, you'll find the link to the website and our address and all our information. If you just put in Ursula Ntuli, everything will pop up.
In closing, to those who want to pursue law, mhlambe, what is it that you can say to them, especially the young kids?
Man, pain is temporary, but a law degree is forever, hey? Pain is temporary, but a law degree is forever. So whatever the pain you have to go through to get it, do it. But the degree itself is forever. Remember, the degree itself gives you an opportunity to enter any space, whether you want to go into banking, mining, municipality, wherever you want to go, that degree will open the door for you. So the pain is temporary, but the degree is forever.
The pain is temporary, but the degree is forever. With that said, 013 Golden Circle, we're shooting blanks, no harm done. Today we are coming to you straight from Ursula Ntuli Attorney's offices. Thank you very much, Ursula, for allowing us ukuthi sifike la kakho sizokubhayizisa si-invade ispace sakho. It means a lot to us, and our viewers, you mustn't forget to like and subscribe to our page ku YouTube 013 GCTV Media. I'm not going to mention our social media handles because they are written there on the screen. With that said, ngukhumza tso stove samalahle. Danko.